Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Master amongst Hammer Sages, the king of the ring himself. But your boy Thicky Smalls, Gerard Michaels, in the house. Well done. Handled well.
That was beautiful.
Happy Saturday, good people of Gas Digital. It's your boy, Gerard Michaels, the Vanilla Gorilla, Honky Kong himself, and to my right, as always, at 6'3", 200 pounds, and every one of them is a problem. The master of punks, the tamer of sages, the CEO of the RNC, and the king of the ring, Slick Mickey Gall. Happy Saturday to you, Mick.
Hey, that's me.
That's
happy
you.
Saturday to you as well, dude. And happy Saturday to everybody out there. You know what I mean? Happy Saturday to everyone.
Happy Saturday to everybody involved.
You know what, guys? Make it a great day.
I very much enjoyed
I don't like when people say that.
Mondays.
I get it. Like, I like the sentiment. I just don't like it. Something about it. Make it a great day.
Make it a great day? Yeah, I have a weird tick when people say, have a good day. I'm like, have a great one. And I can't stop myself.
Have an even better one.
Yeah,
dude.
I started saying it once, and I can't stop. It's like,
are you on one-upping me?
yeah, it's like, have a great day. Have a good day. Have a great one. It's like,
Now have the best day.
yeah. And the worst part is,
No. You have the best day. You have it, whatever better than that.
And
Times infinity.
I'm almost always saying it to like somebody who's like a barista or working in retail, where they're like,
Yeah,
have a good
no,
day. Have a great one. They're like, I hate my job. I hate my life. I'm not having a good moment. Yeah. I can't stop it. I have to be more aware of that.
Yeah.
But I thought Monday, I got to talk about that a little bit. Monday's episode with the ex-champ, Michael Moore, I felt, man, it was really, really incredible, really insightful too. But the biggest thing, and I thought about this for a couple days after, was how he like said it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the dude that made it to the top of the top, the pinnacle, and you know, he doesn't enjoy it, I guess. I don't know.
No, what I thought a little bit about it was how he kept saying like how he was like he kept saying like he didn't care about the Hall of Fame and shit, but he kept kind of bringing it up and like being mad about it too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's okay to care about that.
Yeah.
It's okay to be like, yeah, I should be in it. So you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's all like, I don't know. I think it's easier to just be like, I don't care though. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's dudes, trying to be strong. When on the real, it should be like, yeah, it fucking hurts my feelings. I'm not getting the recognition for the blood, sweat, and tears that I put in. You know?
Yeah, I think you might have hit the nail on the head there.
That was one of my takeaways. So
when
I was like, bro, this life is like about caring. You know what I mean? It does, and it doesn't mean it has to like, that has to be debilitating. You know what I mean? But it's all right to be like, yeah, that's. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it bothers me a little bit, and use that little whatever that thing is that bothers you, whatever that thing is in your life that bothers you. Use that little fire. That's your little fire there. That's gonna get you going, and you use that. That's fuel. That's fuel for whatever else you want to do.
Why do you think it is so hard for us, especially as men, to admit when something bothers us?
I think because it's like being emotional is looked at as being like kind of like feminine. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be strong, hold it down. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? We're
especially his generation of men, for sure.
Yeah, but even the way like we came up, like if you cried, you're a baby. You know what I mean? Or
And that's the
something
best
worse.
word that people.
That was what I'm
use to
saying.
describe.
That was me being PG. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's yeah, I just think caring and recognizing that and like confronting our emotions like with reality, like you know what I mean. It's easier said than done. I know I'm not the best at it. I can even say that because that's like something that I like have to like kind of make a concerted effort to try and be better at. You know, but I think you can anytime you confront things with reality, you can then use that and for growth. I think all that is growth food, growth fuel, growth material.
Yeah, and what you're saying really resonates with me because for a very long time, when I got released when I wasn't drafted, when
Because you were bad at baseball.
Because I was very bad at baseball.
I'm just kidding. Well, you were the best player in
college baseball in 2006. Yeah.
No big deal. Must have been pretty.
Yes, but that's the thing. I would always be like, whatever, I don't care. But it would keep me up at night. And I think a lot of the self-destructive shit that I did afterwards was directly related to whatever, how to use these terms, but not processing the trauma.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I acted like I didn't care because, whatever. It was like, I don't want to hear somebody tell me I was bad at baseball because that's all I gave a shit about. That was my whole self-worth.
Your identity.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then I have to be like, no, but seriously, look at these numbers. Look at the numbers. Look.
Exactly. But I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm making you see the numbers. I'm pulling out my phone and showing you highlights, but I don't.
Nah, I don't care. I don't care. I just do this comparison of me and this other guy who got called up to the big leagues, and then I'm better than him. But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, but I don't care.
I don't care. But what I'd end up doing is repressing everything, and then what I really liked about drinking is it was the one time at 2:00 in the morning where you can be vulnerable and get your shit out, and everybody was kind of there with
cathartic.
You. Yeah. So hey. Let's get drunk and stick around till 2:00 in the morning, and then you tell me your shit, I'll tell you mine, and then let's do that every week until you gain 150 pounds.
Yeah.
And then, you don't have to have these conversations anymore because nobody could ever believe you were an athlete. So now I don't have to worry about these conversations, And it's Michael talking about, I don't even like talking about this. Can you imagine being an Olympic boxer? But for someone who
said they didn't care so much, they brought it up a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then we'd be like, yeah. It's like, nah, I don't care though. I just don't think it was. I just don't think that was. I don't know. I don't want to because he's a real motherfucker. He's a real dude.
Yeah. I
think it's like something where you're battling. You're battling that. You're battling your real feelings a little bit.
I mean, also the part of it is he's a competitor. He doesn't want them, the quote unquote them, to feel like they're winning. You're talking about a dude, first ever Southpaw heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Almost a decade as the light heavyweight champion. Won the heavyweight championship from Evander Holyfield, lost it to George Foreman, two all-time greats, won it back again afterwards. Not in the Hall of Fame. How could it not eat you up?
No, I really liked
How could it not eat you up?
I really liked about Michael Moore too, not just our conversation, but about him as a fighter, is in a lot of his fights, he'd get cracked, go down, get up, and still win the fight. There's not a lot of examples of that in fights. When people get cracked and they go down, that's where you really see your heart and your balls. And that dude's got heart. That dude's got balls. And I think, I think that's maybe it's the same thing, or maybe it's actually the opposite, where he confronted. Yeah, I just got my pants dirty. I got knocked to my butt, but now I'm back up and I'm coming back in this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he fucking cared about winning and shit. Yeah. So I think that that type guy, you got knocked down and disrespected by not being put in the Hall of Fame. Whatever you're gonna do next, the business things he wants to get into, he's gonna go be great at that.
If he's able to channel that same competitive nature.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
It still does suck though.
But that dude's a dog.
Especially the beauty about your business is there's, unless you're Shevchenko and there's a 10-8 for some reason, there's really, it's in your hands. And this is something that's, no, you don't think so?
There's just like anything, there's a ref could do an early stoppage. You get a bad scorecard.
What'd you think of that Shevchenko 10-8?
I didn't watch the fight.
You didn't watch the fight?
We were chilling with Christos.
Gotcha.
We didn't watch any of the other fights.
Christian,
I will watch that one back, and I want to watch the co-main.
It was a very good fight. I think a draw kind of feels right, but it wasn't a 10-8 round. 10-8 round. What'd you think, Christian?
I missed the last round, so I don't not entirely sure, but
Christian
I
fell
thought
asleep. He hates girl fights.
I remember him
it was a
saying
good
that.
fight too, but I fell asleep on the Wei Lee fight too before the O'Malley fight. So yeah, I thought Valentina was gonna win, so I just shut it off because I just figured she was gonna win.
Grasso was game, boy.
Yeah, she dropped her. She
Both
has
of
power.
them. Both
big
of them.
power.
There was both moments where you kind of thought, all right, this is the end, and they both really fought through it. It was an impressive fight. But I think from a fighter's perspective, it's you and another man, and let the chips fall where they may. And now here he is, has to, these writers and these basically politicians, right, and these promoters are dangling the carrot in front of him like, you want to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
It's gotta suck. It's gotta suck.
Yeah. I like that expression, though. What did you say? Chips in? What did you say? Push the chips in?
Mm-hmm. Dangle the carrot, It's
Yeah.
you and another man.
Fucking poker face, push some chips in.
Forward it may.
Let it let it rock.
Be professionally violent, man. I mean, what did it feel like being in the corner there? You feeling the juices flowing now? It's been a long time.
It's always different being in a corner versus like being the fighter. Because when I'm fighting, it's all in my hands, it's all in my control. And so throughout that week, I'm in it. I'm feeling the bits of nerves and all that shit, And it's heightened, it's high, but at the same time, it's you like when it gets towards the end, like when we're about to leave the locker room, and I got a picture of Tony, armpit sweat on his shoulders, like he was boy was sweating because he was feeling it too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I was feeling the same thing. Like, it's a very sudden and a very late flash of nervousness where you're like, we're about to go send him in there and we're gonna be on the outside of there, just you know what I mean. And so it's different. It's like a little bit of a helpless feeling. Mm-hmm. So it's different from when you're fighting. It's almost worse sometimes when it's someone else, especially someone you very much care about.
Somebody you care about, yeah.
And any corner. I mean, I've worked probably 100 corners. You know what I mean? Mostly like amateurs and like low level pro ones. I've only cornered in the UFC a few times. But it's, so everyone I'm doing it for is someone I care about. So and especially like the high levels when you're fighting dangerous dudes, It's worse. At the amateurs where it's like, you know what I mean? They're probably not going to get fucking, there's not a real chance to get knocked out. But at the high levels, everybody can knock someone out,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a little more.
Interesting. How does the corner work? Is there like a hierarchy of who gets to talk, who doesn't get to talk? And like, is everybody just yelling out what they see all at once?
Nah, like a real proper professional corner, it should kind of be, sometimes they say the one voice thing, which I can agree with, but at the same time, there's what I like to do personally. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the best thing is. I don't like there to be too much, rah, 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 because I think you throw so much shit out there, it's going to be devalued. As someone who talks a lot, you take their words less seriously. Someone who just says a few words.
That better not be true.
Someone you know what I mean? Someone who's very verbose and says a lot, it's like it devalues their words. But someone who like just has like a few things to say, or like almost like will talk with a quiet voice, you almost like you listen because if they're talking, they probably have something to say, right? So I think not too much. Like I've been in corners where I'm tapping people and like grabbing their knee, like shh, stop, let him. He's good. He's seeing things. Everything's okay. I think like there's a quick like it was me, Tony, and Sean Soriano. And we would have little discussions amongst ourselves, like, all right, this, or this. All right, he's got to do this. All right, we see that. You know what I mean? We'd have a little discussion there, so that when we get into the cage, we're not all just, I think this, and I think this, and I think this. We, you know what I mean? We have a concise, and Sean Soriano being like one of the probably the captain of Kill Cliff team. Henry's like understudy. He's kind of me and Tony kind of deferred to him. He's gonna be the first voice in there. And then I had a little something to say at the end, but yeah, it was kind of like, me and Sean went in there. They let two people in, one person stays on the outside. That's the way it works. But Tony like had something to say that was like big. Sean we all kind of work together on it, but we don't want to be just like hammering them. There's a lot going on. We're lucky if he hears anything.
Being around as many fighters as you've been around for as long as you've been around, especially somebody that's still in it like you are, chasing the brass ring, wants the strap. What did you feel like hearing Michael Moore talk about his 20 years at the top of the game and being like it wasn't worth it?
That made me kind of sad for him. Made me kind of it made me kind of sad. I don't think there's and it might just be my own projections, but I think doing like what we do, as you like to call it, being professionally violent, it's there's so much you learn, there's so much character development, there's so much humility, there's so much learned like in that. Again, I say it all the time, having to confront reality and have to be brutally honest makes you look at the world through a certain set of eyes that I think a lot of people lie to themselves. A lot of people get away with being able to lie to themselves about shit where you can't there. So I think the type of like man it makes you and that type of stuff, I think that's priceless. I think that's priceless. And even just being involved, doing jujitsu as a hobby, you're forced to confront that reality. Because you go in there and you're going to be like, wow, that person could have killed me. Literally. If this was in a back alley somewhere, if they wanted to. Because if you have to tap out. But that's a good thing. And you know what I mean? Like that, you confront, and then you can see things with reality in other parts of your life. That's what I think. Interesting. I think it's priceless.
How did everybody treat you at the PI? First time being back in a long time. You've been
it was great. It was great. Yeah,
they're excited to see you.
Everybody was happy to see me. They were like, "Damn, you're like the mayor out here." A few people were saying, "Yeah,
commissioner, the future commish."
Nah, just because I'm a friendly guy. You know
well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
now they're WWE though. They're so you guys maybe there's an opportunity because back in the day when a guy was injured and rehabbing, they wanted to keep him on the program. You'd have Kurt Angle or Mick Foley be the commissioner for 6 months while they were rehabbing.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You never watched WWE growing up?
No,
WWF?
of course I did. But what is a commissioner? Bud Selig was the commissioner of baseball.
Yeah, but
that meant he was like the Dana White of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't like real in WWF. Like speaking of collar and elbow, check out my boy Al Snow's got a new show on Netflix called Wrestler. It's awesome. Check it out. You guys will like it if you're into that stupid hillbilly shit like I am, man. Check out Wrestler. Al Snow, one of the greatest human beings ever. But yeah, that's what they would do. They would make like a fake commissioner who would like put these fights together. Anyway, if you don't know, you don't know. I'm sure somebody out there knows.
Yeah, very vaguely. I don't really know.
Yeah, so like when these guys obviously get hurt all the time, but they have all this cachet.
But the UFC doesn't do that fake. You can't just be like,
it's true.
Mickey's the commissioner now.
And they get mad at you for booking the wrong fights, or like they'll be.
UFC has professional matchmakers.
Yeah, So, Shevchenko's management couldn't start, like, a pushing match with you after for that 10-8, and the next thing you know, there's, like, a cage match, I guess
who knows where it'll go now?
Fighting is cage matches.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet you the promotions might get pretty wild if they're going to do WWE-type stuff.
I don't think just because they merge, they're going to do WWE-type stuff. I think it's just, like, a business thing.
I don't think they're doing WWE-type stuff is
someone
bad.
said something like we want the part of this deal is we want all MMA fans to be WWE fans. We want all WWE fans to be UFC fans.
Yeah.
And Dana was like, I don't know why he said that. It was like someone who worked for him. He's like, I don't know why he said that. That was like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like Dana just keeps shit super real.
Dana is incredible.
Bro, he's a real motherfucker, yo.
Bro, there was something I think I saw an interview with
real one.
Him and like maybe Pierce Morgan or something like that, and they were like, growing up without a father, is that something that motivates you, infuses you? He goes, you sound like my wife. It was just like,
yeah, he keeps it real, man.
He keeps it 100%, man. Yeah. I got so much respect for Dana White, man, and the way he runs his business. He's just he's
a titan of industry.
He really is, and especially he's been able to grow his business in an era where everybody else is losing money. We don't talk about it, but everybody's losing money. 4 straight years, they just released the adjusted for inflation data. 4 straight years, wages in America are down. 4 straight years. And so if you combine the fact that prices are way up, 130% consumer price index, prices are way up, and wages are down, and now compound that with the open border, there's going to be a lot more people looking for jobs. So that means...
Sounds like we're in a silent depression, G. Are we in a silent depression? That's depressing.
We have the perfect storm brewing for for an economic downturn. You know Michael Burry? You ever heard of Michael Burry from The Big Short?
I saw the movie, The Big Short.
So the character that Christian Bale plays.
That's what I call Christian.
Christian Bale, The Big Short.
The Big Short. No, Christian.
Fuck you guys.
Now fighting in the blue corner.
The
That's
Big Short.
Christian the Big Short.
Low-key a great name.
That would be a great
right?
name.
The Big Short.
Yeah, you're just out there just dropping dudes like the market. So the guy Christian Bale plays, the real guy is Michael Burry. And he just took a $1.6 billion bet against the economy. So there's a lot of indicators. And do you know, believe it or not, what one of the leading indicators he uses is?
No.
Money spent in strip clubs. Huh. So one of the leading indicators that he uses for the strength of the economy is how much money is spent in the strip clubs. And this past year, there was apparently less money spent in strip clubs than any time in the last decade.
Damn.
So that could maybe mean OnlyFans. Maybe, there's no Japanese tourism to Vegas because they got the sex robots.
And yeah, it's frowned upon to jack off in the strip club.
It's frowned upon, but
So-
not necessarily illegal.
Right. Yeah,
I've heard.
they got back rooms and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's frowned upon.
Yeah. So if you think about it, it makes a ton of sense because it really is like the strength of the businesses,
These scrippers got to step their game up.
These scrippers ain't making no cake.
They got to step their game up.
So yeah.
Put that cake to work to get that
So
cake.
one of the leading indicators of the strength of the economy is how much money is being spent in strip clubs, and there ain't no money being spent in strip clubs. So Panama Canal, which we used to own, which we don't anymore, which everything in the Western Hemisphere gets shipped through, just quintupled their prices for ships to go through. Yeah, man. So that we've got, and this concerns me being in the entertainment industry because like the first thing that goes is like superfluous spending. Like when bacon is $11 a pound, nobody wants to spend $25 on a comedy ticket.
Right.
So like this shit is near and dear to my heart as I look forward to putting together my 2024 tour. That man, like fuck me, man. If this economy takes a bear turn, we're gonna be in trouble. And they say it's always downhill from like industrial, and the industrials have already taken a beating. So 2024, we've said it on this podcast, and I know you love it. 2024 might be a zoo. And there's actually a video I saw that I thought was very interesting that kind of explains what the consumer price index,
The silent depression
the
thing?
CPI, yeah.
Cool.
So
We are in a silent depression. When you compare the Great Depression to today, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. In 1930, during the Great Depression, the average home in America was $3,900. The average car was $600, and the average monthly rent was $18 or $216 a year, and the average salary was $1,300 for the year. Fast forward to today, it is $436,000 for the average home, $48,000 for the average car, and the average rent is $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year, and we have a $56,000 income for the average American right now. So if you look back to the Great Depression, the house was only 3 times the average salary. Now it is 8 times the average salary. The car was 46% of the salary. The car today is 85% of the salary. And here's the craziest part. The rent was 16% of the average salary. It is now 42% of the average salary.
now some of that is a little misleading because back in the day, a car was just an engine and like a bench. Now it's a whole ass computer. There's more involved. Some things have gone down, like the prices of TVs and electronics. But the big thing is housing, because you need a roof. Big thing is food, because you need to eat, some more than others, right? So
You don't need to eat that much.
so we're gonna find out. So the fuck is that sound?
Yeah, where? I think, does that come from outside?
Is it?
Is that in our headphones?
It's outside.
All right.
outside.
Weird. Thought it was having an aneurysm.
Oh, Christian, you son of a bitch. What are you guys not controlling the streets here?
Come on now.
Ben, get out there.
Get it going. Yeah, man. So really interesting shit. So now the interesting part about the Great Depression. Do you know how we got out of the Great Depression, Christian?
A whole lot of cash.
World
A whole
War
lot
II.
of cash and a whole lot of ass.
World War II, baby. World War II got us out of the Great Depression. Killed a million people in the workforce. Stabilized wages for about 4 years, and
Oh, so we got to thin the herd, huh? There's going to be a herd thinner coming? What are they going to release a fucking another virus?
yeah, I would listen. All we can do is tell you what, like, you know why Tom Brady watches video, guys?
Watch it while he's watching game tape.
You know why Tom Brady watches game tape?
Catch tendencies on the opponent.
Catch tendencies on the opponent. That's all history is. Does history mean the future is going to happen the same way it happened in the past? Nope. What's that famous quote? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. All we're saying is, man, we did a little studying, and every time we go 3 wide, they bring a blitz from the weak side. Maybe keep it back in the chip.
Yeah, we need someone to cover that fucking weak side.
Maybe short the SPY. Maybe invest in a little bit of gold. Maybe stock up on some non-perishables. I don't know. Maybe learn from the past, because history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. And these
Mark Twain said that.
Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens.
I heard Mark Twain was a part of a really, really good book about Ulysses S. Grant. Did you ever read that?
I didn't.
I'm gonna have to be
Is that
our
Ulysses?
next book report.
Is that Ulysses? Did he write Ulysses?
I think it's like Ulysses
No,
S.
that's James
Grant.
Joyce.
James Joyce, that's right.
Ulysses
Irish
S. Grant.
James Joyce.
He wrote like it's like an autobiography, but I think Mark Twain had a big hand in that. Is
He helped
that
him write. Yeah, it says Mark Twain helped Ulysses S. Grant write his personal memoir.
So I think Ulysses Grant was broke, and he like met some dudes on a train. Was like they were like, here for like we'll give you $1,000 for your autobiography, and then
He was broke.
yeah, and then
Bad drinker.
Like I think someone talked to him, and he was like, no, you can't do this. You can't. And apparently he's a very good guy.
Ulysses S. Grant?
Yeah,
He
great
looks
guy.
like a badass.
Great guy, very much a badass.
Great general.
Very much a badass. But then they ended up having to go through Twain and his publishing.
Really?
And I think they made like $500,000 then in like a month or a week or something. Like he was about to do it for $1,000.
Really?
A one-time fee. He made that much, and I think his family's probably still making money off that. Like he had a sick wife or some shit like that.
Well, I know he was a bad businessman, and he was a big drinker, but he also, if I remember correctly, part of the reason he went broke after he was president is because he gave all his money away to like Union soldiers who were injured fighting for him.
Yeah.
So
It was
like
$200,000.
was $200,000, which in what 1870s
Charles
probably.
Webster, yeah, Charles Webster Publishing wrote a check for $200,000 to give to Julia Dent Grant in early 1886. It was the biggest royalty check written to that time.
I didn't know that. What's $200,000 in 1870 in today's money?
I will tell you. in one
Saw
second.
that face. He's like, oh, God.
Oh, no, not Google. That's interesting. I didn't know
You're
that.
throwing so much at me.
Yeah. Twain was like one of the original. He was like the original American comedian too. He's hilarious.
He wrote The Raven.
No, that's Pope.
Oh,
Edgar Allan Poe.
man. This is a lot
I mixed
of money,
those fuckers
guys.
up.
Yeah.
Who wrote?
This is a lot of money.
How much?
6,300,000.
6.3 million.
Yeah, and that was in like the first, that was just the first installment of the payment.
Wow. So what would $1,000 have been back then?
1K is 31 grand. 32,000.
Yo, whoever that friend was that says, "Yo, time out. We need to sell this thing." That's a good friend. That
Might have
dude.
been like Sherman or some shit.
That dude made him. $6.29 million.
Over 140 years though.
Wow.
What?
It took
The
130
equivalency.
years.
The
Yeah,
equivalency.
yeah.
Yeah, the equivalency. Yeah, Sherman was a bad motherfucker, boy.
Yeah.
Sherman's March to the Sea. Ooh, that was tough. You seen The Patriot?
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
No.
You know well, you've never seen it. Mel Gibson.
You know,
Heath Ledger?
it's the
No.
thing. I know that. Yeah, I know everybody.
How
I know,
have you not seen The
I saw
Patriot?
part of it. Someone got their head blown off with a cannonball.
Yeah, that's the part you remember in that 3-hour
Fuck
film.
yeah, dude. I saw it when I was like young. I think I saw it in school, so I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
You know, anything they like made me do,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do.
Got you. Totally. I totally get that, man. Fuck authority. It's like deep in my soul. Even if it's good for me, like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, but Sherman's March to the Sea was, they basically were like, this is the South's punishment. They just eviscerated. Von Clausewitz, Total War, eviscerated everything.
Here's the scene.
The cannonball head?
Bouncing. That's boom.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Boom.
Yeah, and I think Grant was even like after he was the general of the Union, the North.
Eventually, yeah, that ended
Right?
up winning, yeah.
At the time when didn't Robert E. Lee have to surrender to him?
Correct.
And he like didn't like he could have been like it was like it was like total surrender. Like he could have
Total
like
surrender.
made them all slaves if he fucking wanted to.
Correct.
But he was like, y'all go home, keep your guns, go like for the good of the country.
You
which
guys are
really
Americans.
makes sense on why he was a good choice for president.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, look, I care about this fucking country. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying. He wasn't petty. You know.
Well, there was so much intrigue about the Civil War, and again, we're taught history so poorly, probably on purpose. The first general that Lincoln hired hated Lincoln and tried to like
A
weed
lot
out
of people
the.
hated Lincoln back then.
Oh
huh?
yeah, he was a third-party candidate. There was no Republicans before Lincoln. Lincoln was the very first
He was the
Republican.
first Republican?
Very first.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was a split off from the Whigs. So their whole thing. There was a big component. Like the worst president in history is probably, I believe, who was right before Lincoln? Was it Buchanan? Whoever was right before Lincoln's the worst president in history.
Sure.
Yeah, unequivocally. Because he did nothing. He was like, whatever, I don't really give a shit. Fucking break away. I don't care. Well, there's something to be said for that. That's why there's certain people who think Lincoln was a tyrant. Like, if people wanted to break away, break away. What? Like, who cares? But, yeah, so where the South
Yeah, it was James Buchanan.
was Buchanan. Yeah, he's the worst. Worst. Probably gay, too, which that's not the reason why he was the worst, but actually, so people just didn't, it for just a fact. So, I swear to God, the
Oh, he was too busy doing other things.
he's having fun in D.C.
Yeah,
J.
yeah.
Edgar Hoover.
Oh yeah. Well, he wasn't president, but J. Edgar. There's some
He
people that.
basically was, though, in a way, right?
Oh
He was
yeah.
one of the most powerful men.
Oh, yeah.
Ever, and had blackmailing everyone.
Including himself.
Yeah, well, he would dress in drag and probably had crushes on some of his agents.
Yeah, that's
and
what they said.
other people.
But-
I never got to watch that J. Edgar movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I never saw it either.
It was like on Netflix or on HBO Go or whatever the fuck it's called now. I think it's called HBO Now.
HBO
It's called
Max.
Now.
HBO Max.
It's
Yeah.
something like that. But I like looked it up and I was like, oh, it's there. Cool. I'm gonna watch that later this week. It was
5 minutes
It
later.
was removed like a day or two later.
Crazy.
I looked searching for it. I'm like, type it in. What the fuck? Gone.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, this is part of the shit that I love about history. I mean, the fact that people think history is like, this happened. And what's real about what we know? We're living through history right now. What's real and what's fake about what we know in the last 3 years? But we're supposed to know 100% what happened 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. It's fucking wild. It's wild, man. I mean, there's people that are unconvinced the world is round today. And we have pictures of it. Where do you fall on that? Where do you fall on the flat Earth debate?
Me?
Sure.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up actually.
Okay.
So, great friend of the program, Christos Iagos.
Christos Iagos, friend of the
Spartan,
program.
is a big flat earther.
Big flat earther.
Huge dude. Huge. Like he's convinced 100% sure. And then
Well, I mean, he's big compared to Christian.
right. But he's all about it, and he's sending me some stuff, and I'm always like, yeah, like that makes sense in this video that I just watched, but like I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about it. Got one of my best friends for like years is my buddy Trent Seelick, who's an astrophysicist. Right. So on the fight week, Christos is talking about it, showing me shit. He's like, see this, brother? And then, like he gets excited and shit. So I was like, let me call Trent because I'm sure Trent is gonna not agree with this at all. And Trent didn't answer. Then he called me back like a day later, And I was like, you know what? I don't want to fuck with Christos' mind. It's his fight week. I don't want his world to come crashing down. His flat world to come crashing or to come imploding, whatever the fuck, earthquaking.
He doesn't want the firmament to fall on him.
Yeah, I don't want the firmament to fall. So I was like, we'll do this later. But in the
You imagine Christos goes out and is like, I don't care, just hit me. Everything's alive.
Yeah.